So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel where today I have a brand new Black Ops 4 Zombies video for you all, and this is going to be a bit of a fun one, as right now the Black Ops 4 beta is in full swing in its weekend 2, and everyone's talking about multiplayer, and I think the focus is going to stay around that for the next few weeks when the Blackout beta drops as well. But Zombies is keeping pretty tight-lipped after what we saw at Comic-Con a few weeks ago, but whilst at Comic-Con, Gamespot had a really awesome interview with Jason Blundell and Craig Houston, which we're going to be diving into today, as it gives us some nice little bits of information about what we can expect when it comes to the new maps in Black Ops 4. We're talking about Black Ops 4's take on zombies, how the writing for the mode works, and the most bizarre things that have made it into the Call of Duty zombie games. I'll have a link to this article down below in the description if you guys want to go and look at it, and also I want to thank Callie Plagg, who is the actual author of the article and had the interview. Funny story, she actually had an interview with them which was really fun and funny, but the audio got corrupted, but they were nice enough to do a second interview and it turned out just as well, and this is that second interview. So we've had this question asked many times, but just to get some reassurance on it, is there a connection between the Chaos storyline and the previous zombie story? And Jason goes, I can absolutely confirm that the Chaos story is in no way connected to the Aether story. Then Craig going, other than sharing space. Jason goes, well, they do share a connection there. They are on the same disc. Yep, that's true. So pretty much there is no connection between Chaos and the Aether story. We can finally iron that out. Even though you still might not believe it, they're really hammering it home that there is no connection. Now, this is the question that really got me intrigued. Are there Easter eggs in Blood of the Dead that fans can look forward to? And Craig starts it off by going, lots. I think the thing we started talking about was over these last 10 years, the Aether story involving Richtofen, Dempsey, Takeo, and Nikolai has been a very involved, time-traveling, multi-dimensional thing of craziness that has a beginning, middle, and end. I was going to start reading there, whoa, it actually has an end? Is Revelations really the end? We know it's probably not the case, but they said they've left a lot of very deliberate gaps so that we could revisit, and Blood of the Dead is definitely one of those. It's nice to see the speculation in the community about exactly where it sits in our chronology, and hey, big shout out to you, Craig. Always been so fun making videos theorizing about Blood, and we're still not really done. There's more to talk about in the near future, I'm sure. All will be revealed, but in terms of Easter eggs, it's going to change people's understanding of some of the things we have seen and perceived so far. And this is just so exciting to hear. It's stuff we probably already expected, but still hearing that from the horse's mouth say that just makes me super, super stoked. And then Jason and Craig go off on a little tangent messing around, basically saying that lots is going to be revealed. They say all is going to be revealed, lots will be revealed, yes, some things will be revealed, a thing will be revealed, and then Jason makes one of the best comments I think he's ever done. With Easter eggs, it's like the Easter Bunny just ran around Alcatraz throwing things around. What an awesome quote. And Craig goes on to say, which is true of everything we're doing in Black Ops 4. We're trying to return to a lot of old school Easter eggs in terms of audio logs and things like that, rather than just giving people impossible to solve ciphers so Jason can show off his brain. I love Craig with his answers, man. It's so good. But this brings on a very important point, which is really awesome to hear Jason's viewpoint of it, because as the end of Black Ops 3 happened towards the end of the Aether story, Treyarch made Easter eggs more and more difficult to kind of slow down or control the drip of information to the community. So they started to utilize a lot more ciphers because that would slow it down. You have to do math problem solving and so forth. Now, this both had positives and negatives because it definitely slowed down the drip of information. So when things were discovered, even if it was like a few months down the line, it was really exciting because it was something brand new we didn't know before. But hiding information that is this crucial in like putting the pieces together is so difficult that people almost just give up entirely and can't be bothered to go through and solve a huge, huge problem when it really is so much that most normal people playing this game casually will never ever be able to work this stuff out. So they're saying going into the new stages with the Chaos story, they eventually took the mentality back to the beginning of the Aether story, where it's more about pressing X on things or reading things that we had on textures or stuff we've hid in the world. So all those old school Easter eggs like Shinonuma with the phone Easter egg where you just go up to it and hold X or square to do something. That's the sort of style Easter eggs that we're probably going to be seeing in the new maps. And the stuff as well, hiding stuff on textures, I really like those because it can sometimes catch us off guard and we won't really find them for a really long time, even if they're in plain sight. He goes, these stories have different mentalities now compared to the Aether story, so you'll see a lot more traditional ways of hiding stuff for the players. But the thing about Blood of the Dead is, you know, there's a couple of ciphers around for the fans who enjoy that part of it. So we're definitely going to have some ciphers in Blood of the Dead. This has confirmed it, and I bet they're going to be extremely hard. Imagine if they returned the ADFGX cipher, but completely changed it, but done the same sort of encryption they'd done on the first one, so it's impossible to work out. I don't know. I'd probably be happy and sad about that, to be honest. But now, for a developer's point of view, this sort of question is really intriguing, especially if there's any people out there watching this that one day perhaps want to make video games or want to really know the brains behind Jason and Craig's thought processes on how they feel towards being pressured for zombies and making really fantastic storylines, considering that Black Ops 4 doesn't have a traditional campaign. And Craig starts us off by saying the pressure's always been there as it's grown, because it took off so early as a little bonus map on World at War. With every iteration, they've really tried to push it further and further, both gameplay and narrative-wise and everything. So given that the love for that kind of feels natural, they're just doing it even more so this time. And in narrative terms as well, to be honest, there's a lot more writing that goes into zombie stuff than in writing something like the whole of World at War. It's in a linear campaign, the characters don't talk as much as they do in these kinds of modes as they do in zombies, because zombies are constantly evolving and constantly changing. You need line dialogue for people who've gotten very good at the game and are getting headshots from 20 meters, and you need lines of dialogue for people like Craig and Jason, who need help because they can't play zombies very well. So the sheer volume of dialogue, which is not on the player, just the player characters, but also in Easter eggs, ends up being a pretty massive chunk of work. The world building and planning for the mythologies that they're exploring is really quite significant. And Jason goes on to say, Craig and I both have that campaign background. In terms of level of engagement and the kind of narrative exploration, they've actually scaled up the narrative team for the zombies work. And Craig makes an analogy saying that zombies is a world that you can live in, not just pass through. But he goes, you know what I mean, campaigns are often a one and done thing, and zombies is more of a state of mind than a mythology. There's a little bit of the interview where it's literally just Jason and Craig having sort of the British wit and banter back and forth that we're getting very used to. They're such a great bunch together, and they have been working together for over 17 years, but when they're working with other writers, Craig tries to be a bit more serious and encourage them to write and not just make jokes. And then the interview follows it up with, what is the weirdest thing you thought up that still made it into zombies? And Craig's like, thousands? I mean, the fact you've got a golden spork in Mob of the Dead. And Jason's like, oh yeah, the golden spork was good. The idea of a 1960? When was the spork invented? I don't know. But it's kind of a utilitarian utensil. The combination of a spoon and a fork, it blows him away. Still to this day, it seems like a greater achievement than the moon landing. But Craig goes, yeah, but there's so many. He doesn't think there's a bar where anything is too silly. I mean, Rick Toffin cut out Max's brain and put it in a drone, then flew it into a dimensional portal. So if you can do that kind of thing, then it's like a normal day at work. But Jason ends the interview by saying that he doesn't really know what is the weirdest thing you thought up. He goes, there's pretty much everything that's ever been in zombies is pretty much weird. And he always says when it comes to developing zombies, not only the way that they work with the team, but also how they direct as well, which is that it has to feel like the inmates are running the asylum. It's got to feel like a mode where, and Jason goes, I say this hoping for forgiveness here with Activision on the line, like Activision don't have any control over Treyarch, and it's a bunch of madmen making a zombies mode. So they think that speaks to people in a certain way, and that's the spirit that keeps on going, the kind of rock and roll attitude that kind of, yeah, we're not really going to listen to what the official advice should be for this, but this is the way it is. And that, my friends, is why we have such amazing experiences and maps and just weird, wacky stuff within zombies, and we're going to see a lot more of it within Black Ops 4 Zombies. And the interview ended there. It is a real shame that the audio for this interview was corrupted, and so the interviewee, Callie Plagg, who works at GameSpot, had to write up a written interview instead. But it's also very intriguing that even though she interviewed them about a month ago, this article was only posted the other day. So maybe we'll hear some more zombie interviews from various other media outlets at some point down the line. I'm not too sure. Perhaps information was given to some of these these interviews, which is embargoed for a certain time. Maybe it involves specific zombies details, which we don't know quite yet. Only time will tell, but we're literally about 2 months away from Black Ops 4 releasing, and it's getting around that time now where we might start to see a few more zombie teasers and possibly even another trailer here or there before the game releases. I mean, Classified, we've had absolutely nothing about that map, and I'm really hoping we get a really cool gameplay trailer, because just like with BO3, we got the giant cutscene, and then we actually got a giant gameplay trailer about a week or so before the game came out. Of course, lots of beta stuff happening right now. Blackout beta literally on the midst of happening as well, so a lot of stuff happening for Black Ops 4. But if you enjoyed this video, drop it a thumbs up, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, and make sure to subscribe for the latest and greatest zombies news and videos. But thank you for watching, I'll catch you next time.